Welcome to the Keychain Podcast, where every key tells a story.
I'm Matt.
I'm Meesh.
And today we're giving you an inside look behind the people, the partners, and the purpose with the Matt Harnick real estate team.
On this episode, we're actually going to open the door with Rory Farrell from Marathon Mortgage.
How you doing, Rory? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
We are so excited.
We'll make it official with
the handshake. I never handshake, so that's always weird for me.
I know, I can't.
But you can't hug from a chair, though.
You can't hug from a chair. We'll hug when we're done.
After, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
Deserve a hug.
Well, no, you'll deserve a hug. You're cool. You deserve a hug.
Yeah.
So we're so excited to have him on because, fun fact, and Matt and I have said this several times, the reason that this podcast started was after seeing you guys and watching Matt on your guys' podcast.
We had wanted to do a podcast for a long time, and finally I was on Rory and Mike's podcast, and I'm like, yeah, we could do this. Absolutely.
I was joking earlier. I'm like, yeah, these two idiots can do it. We can definitely do it.
Well, it didn't go that way exactly.
Not
but,
at all. But like,
that's how I heard it.
As soon as I saw, like, you guys came in and you had your setup and everything, and it was actually in this room, right?
Yep.
So you had the setup and all this stuff, and I just started watching the wheels turn in Matt's head before I walked out the door, and I was like, ah, crap.
Another mad scientist
I'm
move.
like, here we go. I was like, this isn't going to last. I'm not going to be able to push this off for another month. This is happening. And
Nope, that parking lot project is finally becoming an actual roadway.
2 weeks later, all the stuff showed up, and he goes, surprise. And I was like, thanks, guys. Thanks. But no, I love it. I mean, it's a great way to get all your messages out there, right?
Yeah, and you would think you would run out of material to talk about.
Nope.
We do it weekly, and it's like we've been doing it for almost 3 years now.
Wow.
Crazy.
You know, and it, you got to adapt it. You got to shift your focus sometimes to make it relevant and make it exciting. But
sure.
Not that ours is that exciting.
It was exciting. I mean, again, having been on it, I can speak firsthand that it was great. The way that you guys do it. We've taken a couple pages out of your book, which you'll see.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, so tell us about your history, going back. Who are you? Who is Rory?
Let's get into it.
Rory?
Yeah, man.
I was born in Bryn Mawr in 1980. Now we won't go that far back. No, I mean, I don't necessarily have the finance background that a lot of people do in my industry. I started out like from an early age being in like restaurants, bars, service, all service related industries. When I graduated college, I kind of was like that floundering 22-year-old and didn't know what to do, but I knew I wanted to surf.
Most of us were.
As much as I possibly could. So me and a couple buddies moved to California for 10 years.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. From like pretty much my 20s, all my 20s. I kind of grew up and matured in that state.
I mean, if there's a time to do it, that's the time to do it.
Yeah, no kids,
God.
I'm
so jealous right now.
I know, right?
We're in California.
We were in San Diego for 8 years. And then during that time, I met my wife and dated, and she moved out there, and she's very like type A, career oriented, and she got a job up in San Francisco.
Wow. My kind of girl.
8 years in, yeah. She's
So you started in San Diego and moved to San Francisco.
For the last 2 years of being there. Yeah. So, and where I was going with that is just like I lived and worked in the service industry, bars, restaurants. I ran a restaurant in San Diego on the beach for 8 years. And then when I moved to San Francisco, I kind of took that experience with the breweries that I worked with in that restaurant and started working for a brewery in sales for Northern California. So I had everything up to basically the Oregon border down to basically the top, like Santa Barbara-ish, like Central Coast. And then out east where nobody really wants to go. Out to the mountains.
Yeah.
And then the honeymoon ended and you came back here.
Well, eventually if you're living in San Francisco and you want to buy a house and be close to family, it's not happening out there.
Yeah.
We weren't millionaires, nor are we now, but yeah, so eventually it came to a point where like, all right, we do want to settle down. We want to have a house. We want to have a family. We want to be closer to family that can help us raise that family and be close to our kids. So, and my wife's from North Jersey, so it made it a little bit like we were going back to a similar place. Like it wasn't, and she tried to get us to go to Jersey, but I reeled that in. Got it.
Whereabouts in Jersey?
She grew up in like Union, Elizabeth. Her parents, when we moved back, were living in Denville, Basking Ridge area. So
I know where that is.
They're still there now.
Yeah.
But I mean, we looked up in that area, Cranford area, which is similar. We live in Doylestown now, and Cranford's like, I always say, like the Doylestown of
New Jersey.
that area.
Yeah.
A lot of younger families moving in and like hip and expensive and, good school districts and all that stuff. But we started looking at the home prices and the taxes, and we're like, let's check Doylestown out.
Let's come back over to this.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So
I love that.
So when I got back from California, I said, well, I want something a little bit more like long-term career-oriented, something a little bit more stable, a little bit more like more 9 to 5, which in hindsight is hilarious. My father worked in the mortgage industry. He worked for Marathon Mortgage, who I work for currently. And he was a loan officer, a processor. He like kind of did everything. And he's like, well, Tom, who is the owner of our company, Tom Howell, wants to bring somebody in and like mentor and an apprentice and, take him under his wing and teach him everything he knows because he wants, to build his business and build his company. So I was like, let's give it a shot, So we did it.
What's the worst that could happen?
Well,
right?
The worst that could happen was that I started working with my dad, and I kind of not that, it was great working with my dad, and he was like an extra resource for learning and all that, and we get along really well. But if I didn't like it, then it looked poor on my dad, and Tom would have spent all this time training me, and then I would have figured out 6 months or a year in that I hated it because I've never sat behind a desk. And that would have just kind of reflected poorly on my dad. But
that's true.
I was pretty confident.
As someone else who worked with his dad, I look back on that very, very fondly. I remember the good stuff. There was some challenging things too, but my dad and I, are very much alike, and there was a lot of type A, headbutting. But it was some of the best years, really working together, learning a lot from him.
Yeah, it was cool because I got to learn. So Tom runs his business very different than my dad in kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. And I felt like I got to learn a lot from both, and I kind of landed somewhere in the middle, for better or worse, But I like the way that I work now. And, I took a lot of the good things that my dad did with how detail-oriented was and organized and, all that. And then I took some of the things that Tom did where like the way that he speaks to clients and like kind of looking at bigger picture stuff and really just try to dial in my style.
And it's been about 10 years for you now in marathon?
Started in 16. Yeah, so about
9-10 years? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Had about a month or two off between moving back and starting my career and my real job. And
the big grown-up job, right?
My grown-up job.
Right?
It was funny. I look back now because I was nervous, obviously, brand new career, brand new company, East Coast, and I had like my slacks and my button down. And now it's like, especially past COVID when like people know nobody comes into an office anymore. I'm like shorts and a t-shirt, and maybe some sandals if it's hot. It's different. Yeah. Don't hate on the sandals.
Don't hate on them because I love that's my favorite part of summer is being able to wear like my cute sandals.
There you go.
But I'm a fall girl, so I can't wait.
And it is technically fall.
It's as of
this week, right?
Monday. Yes. It's technically fall, but
I love
it's not quite sweater weather yet.
No.
But we'll get there.
Yeah. Oh man. If it could be summer all year round. That's like the San Diego.
Yeah.
Give me 80 degrees and sunny. I don't care if it's humid.
All year round.
I don't care.
Right.
It's like paradise.
People used to ask me like, "Oh, do you miss the East Coast, like the changing of the seasons?" I'm like, absolutely not.
Heck no.
Not one bit about it.
Heck no.
Yeah.
Take me back to consistent weather.
Yeah. So.
And tell us about. I know you went to PSU.
I did.
You're a Penn State grad.
Yep.
We are.
Penn State.
My oldest is a sophomore at Penn State.
Living his best life, I'm sure.
I'm sure he is. I don't hear from him enough about it. Hi, Josh. But yeah, tell us, what did you study at Penn State? Like, how did it all begin?
Yeah, so my wife gives me such a hard time about this, but I started out in education and then quickly realized that I like that work, but it just didn't seem like the career that I wanted to do. I talk with a lot of teachers who said 20 years in, you're like,
burn out.
You're burnt out.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And you just don't get the respect that you deserve. Certainly you don't get the respect that they do deserve. So then I pivoted and I kind of took a lot of my gen ed courses. So I kind of got to the end of my college career and I'm like, oh shoot, what do I do?
Yep.
And I was big into hiking and outdoors and that kind of stuff. So I ended up getting into recreation parks and tourism management, specifically outdoor. So my wife's always like, what are you going to be, a park ranger? And I was like, actually, that wouldn't be the end of the world. It would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's your second career.
And quite honestly, that's how I convinced my parents that it was a good idea to move to California. I'm like, there's going to be so many more opportunities out in California for outdoor stuff and career wise. And it was all just because I wanted to go surf. But
so you surf?
I did. Yeah, that's the whole reason I moved to San Diego. I had nothing better to do. I didn't have a career lined up where I knew I wanted to do this. And I was like, when am I ever going to get to move to California?
Yeah.
I figured it would be a year or two. And I had buddies who wanted to do it with me. And so we crammed into a 2-bedroom place, the 4 of us. And
you did what I wanted to do and did not do, and I regret it. So good job.
Well, yeah, I certainly don't regret a bit of it. And it truly, I say that I lived there in my 20s, to point out the fact that I feel like a lot of people grow up.
Yeah.
Truly grow up. You're out on your own for the first time.
Yep.
Between 20 and 30, and you develop your, just your personality and your politics and your goals, and just you develop as a person on your own. And that's, where I felt like I grew the most. So
that's amazing.
that sounds so woo-woo.
I know. It was
no,
so,
but it's
such a California thing to say.
But it's true. We all have those moments in our lives where we're like, all right, we finish the goal that we set out, right? And most of it's college. And I had this similar college experience where I went for one thing and I was 4 years in and 4 credits shy of a second degree. And I was like, yeah, I'm not ready to leave yet. So I'm hey dad, love you. I'll pay for it myself, but I want to stay. And
you pay for it.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So like I stayed and I got 2 more minors out of it and it was amazing. And then when I left, I was like, crap, now I got to like grow up. So I went and did the whole like desk job thing, and it was not what I wanted to do, but it was at least something. But it taught me a lot about what I did want, what I didn't want, what I wanted in a manager style. Like I learned a lot from that first company that I was with. Yeah. So I'm a little envious that you took some time and like grew yourself somewhere outside of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. And we had fun. Yeah. Like we had a lot of fun, met a lot of very cool people there, took a lot of trips. Like out there, it's just so accessible to see so many cool things, especially like outdoor, like national parks. And it just, and then when we moved to Northern California, this is a fun fact, I bought a van for my 30th birthday for myself. My wife was like, what is that creepy van? I didn't even tell her about it. But,
what color was it?
It was two-tone, light blue, like a powder blue and white. Nice. And my wife literally, I didn't even tell her I was buying it. I just bought it. And she's like, what? She's like, that's not your creepy van out front. And I'm like, it's our creepy van.
It's ours.
She wasn't a big camper, and that was my way of like getting her to like go out and do stuff like that with me. And there was a bed in the back, and it was comfortable, it was warm. Yeah. So having that, like, and no kids and no other real like true responsibilities, we're like, all right, we have off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, where are we going? Yeah. And you would just go to Joshua Tree, or you go to Colorado or Arizona or wherever. We just went. And then when we were in San Francisco, it was like, we went up to Seattle and Oregon and like just everywhere.
God.
So,
that's fantastic.
Being a musician, I got a great story real quick.
Yeah, no, go for it.
We took it. My goal was always to see something at Red Rocks.
That's mine. I'm going to Red Rocks next October. Thanks, Steph and Doug.
There you go. It sounds so cheesy. It's like a religious experience.
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm so excited.
I have goosebumps just thinking about it. So we saw the Avett Brothers. Are you guys familiar with the Avett Brothers?
I've heard of them.
They're like folky country rock and roll. They become a little bit more poppy, like with their newer stuff, but as they do when they get more popular. But they're from North Carolina, so have that like funky or folky stuff.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, I would have saw anyone. It doesn't matter who you see.
Sure.
So I just said, all right, this summer we're going. And I looked out on the calendar and I was like, I like the Avett Brothers, we'll go. And we drove from San Francisco through Salt Lake City and Denver and Morrison, which is where they are. Yeah. Just did like a road trip out there with me, my wife, and 2 of my buddies, all in the van. We just camped it was like one of the most epic experiences ever. And it was so fun. And I mean, you're going to love it.
How long of a drive is that, by the way?
It's like 20 hours straight through, and which we did straight through on the way home. Right after the concert at like midnight, we left.
Oh my gosh.
Our idea was to, there's a campground.
To be young again, right?
There's a campground in Morrison, which is right where Red Rocks is.
Yeah.
It's like a 15-minute hike out. So the plan was to be there, and we had a campsite and everything, and we got to the end of the show and we were just so like ramped up.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
And we all kind of had to work the next day, but we're like, we can get away with like kind of doing work from the road, but like we definitely got to be back by the following day. And we're like, let's just go. And my wife was like, I'll take the first 5 hours or whatever. Yeah. And so we just took trips, took rotations, and so straight through it was like 20 something hours.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was fun.
Red Rocks is just unbelievable. I mean, I've never been there. I mean, I've been in Colorado before a number of times, but I've never actually seen a show at Red Rocks. But I've seen the concert video for U2 live at Red Rocks. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have an idea, obviously, what it looks like and stuff. I just, wow.
It's mind blowing. Yeah, go see it. Do it. Like, do whatever you can, especially as a musician, music lover. Just go. Who are you seeing?
We don't know yet because we're going October 2026, and like they haven't released the full thing yet. But I said to my husband, I was like, I don't care if we need to stay 3 days later. We will see something.
Doesn't matter.
There,
and it's worth every penny.
And that's what I said to him. I was like, I don't think it matters who is there because we like any kind of music. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's certainly better in that setting, that venue, but I mean,
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You just
like let me know.
You've just like amped it up for me so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, get here sooner. I was excited, guys. I was excited for the wedding that's happening anyway, but now I'm even more pumped. And you kind of led into something that I find amazing about your social media.
Okay,
all right, you ready? You do this thing every week where you talk about either like the top songs or top albums that you guys at Marathon have been listening to.
Yep.
That is such a cool way to engage with everybody. I look at it every week and I'm like, I've never heard that song, or I've heard of that band, but I've never listened to that track. And there's some that I've listened to that I'm like, really? He listens to that? I wouldn't have expected it. But like it always gives me like a new kind of take on what other people are listening to outside of mine. We talked before we even got on about my obsession with Taylor Swift. So
Tay-Tay.
like Tay-Tay is like my thing, and she's got her
Big
channel.
Taylor Swift fan, I assume.
He's learning.
Okay, so
He's
all right,
learning.
we'll address this. So I mean,
Yeah.
He's
so
learning.
I appreciate Taylor Swift's music. I wouldn't say I was necessarily a fan. I am a huge fan of her as a person.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you have to be a fan of someone's artwork to really appreciate who they are. And as far as being a business person, as far as being a humanitarian, the amount of money she's raised for different causes, I really am a huge fan of her as a person. So, but it's funny because this morning, before we were even on the air here, so to speak, I found out that Meesh was a Limp Bizkit fan going back in the day.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
There-
So like he was one of the first
Durst? Fred Durst?
Like so Limp Bizkit was probably one of the first like you know how they used to do the E-rated CDs?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
FYE and stuff?
Yep.
I bought right, that's dating myself, but whatever. I bought that and Eminem's Marshall Mathers the same day, and I thought I was like the coolest thing in school because I bought these.
You're the bad girl.
You know what I mean? Like I thought I was such a little BA with these two things, and I bring it down, and my brother, so like FYU is on the top of Montgomery Mall, and then right below it was, I think they were Tweeter at the time. Was my brother all worked in Tweeter, so I come down with my little bag, and I'm like walking through, and he pulls it out, and he goes, "What are you doing with these two? Like, what is this?" And I was like, trust me, I'm going to like it. Because at that point, I hadn't even heard, like, all the boys at school were talking about it. And I was like, well, let me buy it so I can be, like, cool with the boys.
Which one, Limp Bizkit or Marshall Mathers?
Both of them.
Oh, both.
And I was
did
like,
kinda, hit at the same time.
They hit it like the same time. So I
Yeah.
was like, let's just see what they're about. And then all of a sudden I started listening to it, and I remember my dad coming in the room and going, "What is this?" And like screaming at me because it was just that like loud ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom
Yeah.
coming from Limp Bizkit.
And
I was just like,
for perspective, this was like what, 94, 95?
no, it had to be later than that because I was in like
Eminem
6th,
came out when
7th
I was in high school, which was like probably around 2000.
Yeah, like I was in like 6th, 7th grade, somewhere in there is
Okay.
when they came out. So like it was that time where you're turning 13. You were trying to like find that new version of yourself. And I was like, I'm going to be this cool, like bad girl with these like really heavy beats and E-rated music. And I mean, I think I literally burned that CD out. Like I listened to it so much.
Yeah, because there was no Spotify. Where you
No,
just
no.
listened to
Like
the
you
same
had, I just listened to it.
Whatever came on the radio.
Yeah.
Or if you had the CD or,
Yeah. But yes, I was a Limp Bizkit fan.
And the reason I ask this is because there's this, I guess it's TikTok sensation, let's call it, Ben and Zara. Have you seen these
I'm
two?
not on TikTok.
I see it. Well, I'm not on TikTok either. It's on Facebook. That it's a father and a daughter, and they do these unbelievable, insane lip syncs of these songs, and they're like 30-second shorts or whatever. But this morning, maybe it was yesterday, I happened to be doom scrolling, and I happened to see them. They were doing "Rollin'" by Limp Bizkit, and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't heard this song in like 25 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And here's this little 7 or 8 year old girl doing this with her dad, and they're just getting into this, and I'm like, oh my God. So I came in this morning, I'm like, Meesh, did you ever listen to Limp Bizkit back in the day? And she's like,
that is such a random
What?
question. I'm like, where did
I
that come from? And like, we're known for our random questions in our office. Like, we'll be sitting there, it's dead quiet, and then all of a sudden we'll just ask like the most obscure thing. So it's not weird that it would come, but it just came at like such a weird moment that I wasn't expecting.
oh, it was
I
out of
like-
absolutely
like,
just nowhere.
He was setting up in here, and then he walks in and goes, "Are you happen to be a Limp Bizkit?" I'm like, where did that come from? But yes, actually,
That's too funny.
Yes. So when I say I have eclectic music taste,
Yeah.
I literally go from like Eminem, Limp Bizkit to like Dashboard Confessional.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up with like 50s Motown. Like that was my dad's jam. And my mom is the most, how I feel about Taylor Swift is how she felt about Elvis Presley.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like I think I could sing you any Elvis Presley song.
Yeah. You got a
Like-
favorite?
Go ahead. No, I'm just
what's your
just
favorite?
going to put you on the spot.
Sorry, I shouldn't put you on the spot.
Favorite Elvis Presley song. I love Blue Suede Shoes. I think that's a really good one. I'm a big Jailhouse Rock just because like the beat is
Sure.
is like super cool.
My favorite is
Yeah.
A Little Less Conversation.
Oh, that is a good one.
Because that was the theme song to, I want to say the show was called Vegas. It was about, it was a casino.
Casino. Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the characters, but like the main character was God, what was his name? Doesn't matter. He like ran the casino and was all the stuff behind the scenes. And Molly Sims was girlfriend to Josh Duhamel, and his name on the show was Danny. And at the time, she had like this, sweet like country accent. She would like, Danny. So Jane and I were pregnant, and we're like, Danny. I like that. And our son's called Danny.
Oh, cool.
That's his name.
I did not know that's how.
That's where it came from.
Story.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So meanwhile, a little less conversation. I think it was like I don't remember what group redid it, but it was like a sort of a rap dance remix.
Yeah.
You have to listen to it. It was great.
Maybe it'll be on this week's list.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to check it out.
You should try it.
And some Elvis.
It's getting some Elvis back in there.
You have to get some Elvis back there. Like, we went to Graceland as like a vacation.
Graceland was amazing.
It was so cool. And it's when the plane was still there. And like,
yes, I was on the plane.
It was so cool as like, I think I was 12 when we did that trip. And like, it was just so fun to be there. And we had a tornado the night that we were there, so that was fun.
Wow,
like
crazy.
We woke up and like all the stuff was in the pool, and I'm like, Dad, why are the chairs in the pool? And he's like, no reason. Let's just get in the truck. And I'm like, okay.
Wait, you were so I was probably there around the same time that you were, give or take, within that year, same time frame, like 97, 98 ish.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
we did like a full road trip, but it was so much fun. And then we got to go to Sun Studios. Like we did the whole thing.
Beale Street.
Yeah,
Beale Street was amazing.
Well, we drove down it, but I was too little, so like we didn't go into it.
So I was in my 20s. I walked down Beale Street. I went to all the different bars and all the live music and all the blues. Oh my God, it was amazing.
It's one of those ones that I want to get back to just because I was so young when I did it the first time. But like
you appreciate it differently now.
100%.
And here I am going to Tennessee this Saturday.
I know.
But the other side of the state.
Yeah.
Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
Cool. You can do some hiking.
We're going to try. My back's been out a little this week, so we'll see if we can get there.
I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Shifting gears a little bit into the mortgage world, tell us about what this time means for mortgage lenders, and what have you seen? What are you seeing out there right now in terms of what's going on?
It's a fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've quite honestly, we've been sitting on similar rates for the past couple of years, pretty similar rates. We have a little bit of a bump down now, so all of a sudden you're starting to see some refis come back, and what I like about that period, obviously, it's like you kind of get to reconnect with old clients and maybe do a couple more deals, but it gives me a way of providing a little bit more value. So perfect example, someone came to me last week and everyone's getting hit up like, oh, it's time to refi.
Yep.
So I had this client that, my servicer has come to me, says time to refi. I want to work with you to, I originally work with, which I always appreciate, but I think I really want to do it. I'm like, great, well, let's take a look at it. And they're like, a rate's 4.25. And I'm like, send over the loan estimate. I can tell you right now that's not, there's more to be seen there. So we kind of sent over the loan estimate and we looked through everything. And I was like, so how much did he tell you this is going to cost? He's like, oh, there's a $1,400 admin fee. I'm like, cool. Anything else? No. Like that seems pretty much it. Point to box A, there's a $10,000 in points. And I'm like,
of course.
So we could do that too. And maybe it is the right move. Maybe it's not. But the point is like being able to point that out to someone, and he would have just went down the road of spending $10,000 that he may or may not should have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then conversely, like when we reach out to people, like I have a list of, hundreds of clients over the past couple of years who could theoretically refi. It's not going to make sense for a lot of them.
Yep.
So I just start going through and just kind of like, before I even call them, before I waste their time, I run a scenario like, all right, this is theoretically what it could be. And then I call them with the facts like, hey, this is what it would cost. This is your potential new rate. And, obviously assuming your credit's the same and all that. And I just lay it out for them and I say, it may be the right time. It may not be the right time. Maybe this is enough savings to make it worth it. This is the break even. And then we talk about it, and then half the time it doesn't work, and that's fine, but at least it was one more touch on them. And maybe I haven't spoken with them directly in a year, and they will think about me the next time that it is the right time. And just one more way to like build your relationship and trust with that.
And that's you being a professional, not being a salesperson.
I so many times, actually in those emails, oftentimes I write, at the risk of sounding salesy, this is what I think.
Yeah.
No pressure. Like I try to reiterate so many, because I'm not a salesman. Like
even
when I was in the beer industry up in Northern California, like the reason that I ended up like being okay with getting away from that industry, it got like so competitive, and I'm like, guys, it's just beer. Like, what are we doing here?
Beer.
It's beer.
Why are we? Yeah. And it's just, I'm just not that person. And a lot of what we do is salesy, but you have to develop a way to kind of deliver information to let them know, like, hey, I'm here for your best interest. And,
absolutely.
So
that's the trust.
Your background in that service industry. You spent so much time in restaurant and sales and service that really makes a strong case and built upon great backbone for what you do now.
I have 2 young kids. I'm like, you guys are working in restaurants as soon as you can.
Yeah.
Like, I truly do feel like it's one of the most important things you can do. Just developing yourself as a personality, you know, and
100%.
how to respect people and how to, you know, anyone can come into a restaurant. It's like different backgrounds, different, you know, circumstances, and just treating people the way that they should be treated. It's a huge, huge benefit.
100%. I never worked restaurant, but I worked retail, and I worked retail at
same thing.
It was like I did the registry desk for a Babies R Us. So even then, you got to see different levels of people, different, you know, like couples are different, right? So you've got
you
like,
must have seen it.
yeah, like it's trying to, how do you do this the polite way, right? You've got the girl who wants like the high end everything, and her partner is like, we really don't need the $600 stroller.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to push the baby down the street. Like, why do we need top of the line everything? And then you've got the like third time parents who are coming in and they're like, we just need to replenish what we thought we were done with.
Do you have anything on the recall list that
like,
we can get?
Like, can you tell me what's, you know, I like this product, but here's my budget. And I'm like, oh, we got you. But that built me a great backbone, because it was a great way to learn how to talk to people and how to connect. And yeah.
And see, I actually did start my first my first job was actually, I worked at a retirement community as a server. And I think I lasted maybe about 2 weeks as a server. And then I'm like, I want to be in the kitchen. I'm going to wash dishes. I don't care. I just can't be out here. But it was great experience, because it showed me that I was not ready. I really needed to kind of have more of a foundation of me as a person before I was ready to be out there. And now, I mean, I love being out in the field with people. To me, that is the best part of what we do. Is the people. Oops.
Yeah. But yeah. Other than that, it's just like, you know, rates are kind of what they are right now. And quite honestly, I don't think speaking out of school, but a lot of my buyers are like, hey, I don't really care what the rate is right now. Like, I want to find a home. As you know, like the inventory is low. Yeah. So it's like, if you can get in that home that you love, you know, assuming that you're comfortable with the payment, knowing that, hey, it may never go down, but
it should, though, hopefully.
Theoretically, you know, don't count on it going down.
Don't count on it.
Never count on it going down. But, you know, if this is the perfect house for you, get in now, start building the equity. And, you know, when it's time to refi, you refi. And
we know that when rates come down, all the competition that's been waiting on the sidelines to jump into the market they're going to jump into the market. And the competition is going to get that much more fierce. The supply is probably not going to change. The demand will. And the prices are just going to go up all over again. Do it now.
I'll put my money where my mouth is. We bought a place at the end of 2023, almost arguably like maybe the worst time to buy as far as interest rates were concerned.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But we found this place. It was awesome. We loved it. We were okay with the payment. And we said, all right, let's just do it. And I've refinanced since then and lowered my payment by like $600. And maybe that's all been within a year and a half, you know, and like maybe there's another opportunity. Yeah. And the equity in that house is like insane. So it's like, I'm not just telling you to do that because I want to do a deal. It's like, I did the same thing. I was in your position 2 years ago.
And Rory, if I could, I'm sorry, just curious, because I think this might actually be really relevant. If you don't mind sharing, when you first bought that place in 2023, what was your rate, if you remember?
It was an investment property, so I think it was. And keeping in mind that I don't charge myself to do the loan, so it's artificially lower than what it probably. But probably the high sixes, if I had to guess. Okay. High sixes. Now I think I'm in the mid fives.
See, and I think that's the point that I wanted to make, that, I mean, here's a mortgage professional who, as you said, is putting his money where his mouth is. He bought in the sixes, and he knew that at some point, you know, whether it was just building equity or doing cash out refis or rates coming down, there was going to be a scenario where that was going to work out better for you, and he did it.
I couldn't afford that house today.
Right. So and it's a good thing that you did it back then.
Because rates are generally about the same.
Yeah.
But
the prices
the price has gone up 30%.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And good for you, because now you've got that equity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which allowed you to refi, I'm sure, probably in some way.
At an even better rate, because now instead of 20% equity, we have 30% or whatever it ended up being.
There you go. Jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, I think that's it's a conversation that we have to have with all buyers, but specifically that first-time buyer, right? They're already nervous as all heck.
And sometimes their parents or grandparents are saying, you know, don't do it. Or in some cases, my rate was 18% when I bought. Do it.
Do it. Yeah. So I think it's that education that we value so highly, to say to them, like, this is average. Our rates are I hate using the word standard, because there's no standard rate, right? But like,
historically
if
average.
They're historically average.
Yeah.
If you're good with that payment, along with all of your other bills and your other budget that you have, the best thing you can do is to literally buy dirt. Mm-hmm. And that buy dirt means buy that home. Get in.
Who sings that song?
Oh, Buy Dirt. Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. There it is. Sorry.
I love
music.
Not the football player Jordan Davis. Even though I loved him before Sunday, loved him when he was a Georgia Dog. So,
and for those of you who are not Eagles fans, Jordan Davis just had the play of the century.
It was phenomenal. But it's always funny to me that the singer and him, like, you say the name and most people immediately go to the Eagles player, and I'm like, no.
If you're from around here.
Yeah, I'm like, no, the country singer.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
No,
we love that song,
but
and it holds true for sure.
But it holds true. Like, the first time I heard that song, I was like, it's funny how, like, music always resonates with you some way. The first time I heard that, I was like, dang, he's talking about what I do for a living. And I just, like, kept hitting it, and my husband's like, please stop playing that song. And I'm like, sorry, it makes sense. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Just buy the dirt, just get in. And
I think that's the biggest hurdle with, especially first-time home buyers, or really anyone who hasn't done it in 5-10 years. It's like, it's like starting a diet. It's like, I think I've said this to you when we had you on the podcast. It's like, just do it. Start.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, it's not the right time.
Yeah.
There's no love lost. You didn't waste anything except for a little bit of time.
Sure.
It doesn't cost anything to start and have that original conversation. And then one of my biggest compliments is when you get off the phone with a first time home buyer and that initial like conversation, and they're like, "Well, that was way easier than I expected to be." Yeah. Yes, that's what it's supposed to be. Like, I want to make it as easy as possible on you to like just feel comfortable and feel empowered to make the right decision for yourself. So the longer you have on that phone with them, educating them and answering their questions, then they feel more comfortable with the whole process, and it's not as scary.
Yeah.
There's enough stress, tied into that process to begin with. So anything that we can do on the real estate side, you can do on the lending side to reduce that and let them know, again, as you said before, it's like, we're an advisor. We're there for them. How can we make this as easy as possible? And obviously, answer their questions and along the way.
Yeah.
Wanted to shift gears again into your podcast, because as we sort of talked about that before. So why did you start a podcast? I know why we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may be different.
It probably is a little different. So we started it like almost 3 years ago, I want to say. I think it was February of 2023. Yeah, so like 2.5, 3 years ago. And really what it was is our industry has shifted so much of how we derive business. And it's still a lot coming from realtors, but how do we get in front of those realtors?
Sure.
And it's not the same anymore, because we used to be able to go into it. I literally, a list like this, boom, these are the 10 offices I want to hit in Conshohocken and Plymouth Meeting and King of Prussia, right? And you would just go out all day and bring cookies and, just get to know people, quite honestly, doing like sales stuff. Yeah. But like, quite honestly, just like showing up unannounced, and 95% of the time it didn't work, but sometimes it did, and that's still how I have a lot of my relationships from way back then. Then COVID hit, and no one was in offices, by law. And then after that, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't need to be in an office." So me and my co-host and my coworker, who's also a loan officer, Mike Witzak, he's young. He's 20. He was 23 at the time, 24, and he knew how to do all the video editing and the production and all that. I'm like, "Hey, man, like, let's get in front of a camera. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be a vlog or a podcast or just whatever it is. Like, let's just start getting out there, right?" And originally it wasn't even necessary to get in front of realtors. It was just to like get clients to know us.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're real people. We have real personalities. We're humans. We're not just some guy on the other end of the phone asking for your social security number, which is scary,
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
so, and I didn't have any social media presence back then. And really, I don't that much now. I'm trying, but I'm 41. I don't know how to do it as well as some of the younger people.
Yeah.
But I'm trying. I'm trying to keep it organic and true to who I am. But I was like, let's just get stuff out there so people, if they Google us, they know who we are. We're not just some guy out in Ohio who isn't local, doesn't have a personality, doesn't have a family here and grow up here. Yeah. So we started with just me and him, just weekly, what's the mortgage update? And we originally started it with, I'm a big beer guy.
Yes, I was just going to say.
And it's called the Marathon Mortgage Happy Hour, and comes out on Fridays, and we try to get it out on Fridays. And Mike, my co-host, is not a big beer guy. He's a just out of college Penn State guy who likes Corona. So I'm like, I'm going to introduce you to a new local craft beer every time. We'll split it. We'll talk about the beer, and then we'll talk about mortgage stuff. It'll be quick, and boom. And then that evolved into, a realtor wants to come on. Let's bring them on. And then appraisers come on, and insurance people come on. And so now it's kind of like this interactive thing where we get to get in front of realtors that we normally wouldn't get to get in front of. Yeah. So it's kind of evolved in that. That's why I said, like, you got to just kind of be fluid and evolve with what makes the most sense with 100%.
Because, I mean, you think about it, social media in general has evolved a lot in 10 years. And then you add on all the new platforms, you add on new programming, you add in AI to that as well. I mean, we've talked about AI for a while now. And every single time you're like, I got this. This is how I can get in front of somebody. Something else comes and like gives you whiplash. And it's like, how do you keep adapting and how do you find those things to kind of make yourself get in front of a camera or do that new social thing?
I think it's just, again, just doing it, like just trying. Like we learn a lot by watching social media. Quite honestly, I hate this part of it because I'm not a social media guy. Like I don't want to be on my phone constantly. But and it's just kind of, you got to do it now, unfortunately. And even if you're not putting out a lot of content, but like realtors will DM, like you'll DM versus texting or calling now. It's like, that's how I've met a lot of my realtors since COVID, is like literally through following each other, DMing, commenting on something. Hey, why don't you come on my podcast? Boom. And now, a couple deals happen. But yeah, it's just, you just got to unfortunately figure it out. And I'm much slower at figuring it out than the younger generation who grew up with it and just kind of knows how to do it. The way that I do it is, I kind of mentioned, like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm the mid 20-year-old guy who's like staying up with all like the cool trends and like, the language and stuff. It's like, I just put out things that I feel are authentic to me and who I am. Like the music thing, like that's not mortgage related. People don't get any education out of that.
But it's fantastic.
But you remembered it.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
Yeah. And it's fun.
It's entertainment.
Like, it got me to your page. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I saw you post it on your personal, like you shared it on your personal page the one time. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, I don't follow your actual Marathon Mortgage page. So I tracked back and then I followed you guys there, which then leads me to the mortgage tips that I see, your podcast, success stories that you've had and things. And I'm like, oh, that was very smart.
Well, I didn't mean to do it that way. It just kind of worked that way.
But it's organic.
But it's
organic. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I'm not, even if I wanted to, I couldn't make this like overly produced thing. Like I know how to use Canva. I know how to use,
I love Canva.
Reels and, like, whatever the other ones are that I can't even think of now. But like I know how to do a little bit, but like I don't want it to be overly produced. I don't have some guy following me around with a camera who can like spend hours like editing it, making it look nice, because that's not
who we are.
Yeah,
it's not who we are either.
Yeah, and so I think this is the perfect format. Is like just free range combo.
Exactly.
And I think our clients like that too, right? Because you're not seeing the big studio lights and the full makeup and hair and like all of that. Like we're in a conference.
I was just going to say,
with like stuff that we got from a kit on Amazon, like, but we're having a ball with it and we're trying to bring great content while showing you who we are as people.
That's
because
exactly
we'll say it 10 times over. This is one of the biggest financial moves that anyone can make in their life. And if you can't trust us to help you with that,
then we failed.
We failed 100%.
Yeah.
And the only way that we can build trust is by having these kind of honest conversations.
Yep.
So if we can say, hey, I know we've had our buyer consult and I really hope that you'll work with us. Check out the podcast we did with Rory. We think he would be an amazing person to help you with your lending side, and then they'll look and they'll go,
whoever your guest is.
He's a surfer, he's an outdoorsman. I love that kind of stuff. We've already related there.
Well, don't say it like that.
No, but
I enjoy a nice craft local beer. I like to support local.
So you do.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Okay,
absolutely.
right.
There's a better way to say.
No, that's true.
Do you have a favorite?
Sorry,
a bunch. Yeah, but I mean, Forest and Maine's always a great one.
Yeah.
I live up in Bucks County, so Warwick Farm is a great one. It's a beautiful space out there too. I mean, there's a bunch around here. That Levante, I love.
I do like Levante.
Yeah. See?
As far as
hang out.
live music, I mean, Puck is great for like local music. Yep.
And I think they actually just got partnered with a brewery.
They did.
Great Barn.
Okay.
Great Barn Brewery. They're like Kitnersville, but they kind of share that space, and it's the brewery / live music. Yep. Artifacts up there in Doylestown. They do some live music, like smaller, like little acoustic shows. So there's a million things up in that area.
Doylestown's, I think, one of those hidden gems. I don't think people appreciate it as much. I've seen it started. Like it's starting to really get some traction on my social media, but there for a while, like people are like, do I really want to go all the way out there? And then to me, like it's 3 train stops for me. So I'm like, why am I not just hopping on and going? Like it's not that far.
It's far from everything and not far from everything. Like you can get to Philly, you can get to the shore, you can get to New York City, you can get to the Poconos, all like within a reasonable time, but like it still takes an hour. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all doable, but And then like when we go to the shore, like if you're down like where my parents grew up in like North Wales, it's like cool, an hour and 30, hour and 45. Like that seems more doable than 2 hours. Like having that 2 out front really.
But when you're in Doylestown, you've got, I mean, the nightlife, you've got all the restaurants and the bars, you've got just so much, you've got Evolution candy.
Yes.
Have you been to Evolution?
Of course, yeah.
All right, so one of our very good friends, James Lamb, and Tracy, his wife, owns Evolution candy. I mean, they'll get stuff from like England. I mean, we can get candy there that, we saw in England that were like, oh my God, you brought that in for us. Their milkshakes are amazing. I mean, they're wonderful people too.
Yeah.
But that's like the local business community there. It's just such a fun place.
It is. It really is a community. My wife says it all the time because she's not from there. No,
Yeah.
I'm not from there either, but she's like, it's just so cool. You walk around on a Saturday and like people are out and about and everyone knows each other and like they're very kid friendly there. There's a lot of kid events and activities and you got the bike races and the car show, and actually there's
coming up.
The bike races just happened. Car show I think maybe just happened, but they started this new thing, concert in the Commons, Broad Commons Park, and like that's very, very cool on a beautiful night. It's Thursday, so it's tough to get to with like kids activities and stuff, but like it's a beautiful space, great event, and it's a great community. We love it there. There's just so much to do. A lot of young families moving in, so you kind of have like similar personalities, and everyone's kind of like in the same stage of life. Not everyone, obviously, but
generally speaking, it's just there's a sort of uniformity of thought. People enjoy being there, enjoy being around.
Definitely, and a lot of good restaurants popping up. Like Terrain is there now.
Oh my
phenomenal.
gosh,
it's so good.
I just want to eat inside their little like terrarium looking thing.
Yeah.
Like it just looks so pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Food's great. Service was really. I'm a big like service guy.
Yeah,
like, not that I'm just gonna
obviously.
Yelp anybody, but like it's. I love seeing. No. And I will say, if I had like really good, like I'll go out of my way to like write a good Yelp. I won't write a bad Yelp review because I feel like people should be recognized for going,
good stuff.
But I mean, it's a beautiful space. Food's great. Water's Edge is up there now, and they just opened. It's like a winery, and they don't get any like as much business as I think they should.
Yeah,
the food's excellent. Again, service, like cool space. Like so, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff up there. Popping up. So Doylestown. Come on up. Hit me up.
I will. So we're going to get to my favorite part, which I actually stole from you guys.
Yes, we did. Imitation. It's your form of flattery.
So I should be ready?
You should be ready. It's our rapid fire round.
All right.
So you ready? Some of these questions might actually be the same. I don't remember.
Okay.
So you ready? Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl?
I'm forced to be an early bird now.
Is that job related or relationship related or
kids related? So
kids related.
The only time I can go to the gym is before my kids wake up. So it's like it's either that or I don't get to go.
Okay.
So now I have to
So
be up
it's
at 5.
Right.
A forced 5 a.m. wake up. Gotcha. You've mentioned some, but if you had to pick, what would be your favorite local restaurant?
I'm going to go with Terrain because I was there recently. I'm going to go with Terrain.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. It's just a beautiful space. Everything about it. Again, the service, the space, it's just like very nice and comfortable and unique especially for our area.
Especially for as soon as I saw it go up, I was like, oh, that's a really, like, that would be a fun place to host like a little mini event, like a little micro event.
Yeah, we were there last and there was a wedding there.
Yeah. I know. Trust me, my brain's already there. Dream vacation.
All right. This sounds so bad. I'm not bringing my kids.
No, it's totally fine.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No. How about somewhere in like Indonesia to surf?
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Indonesia, Tahiti.
Yeah.
Somewhere there where it's like you guarantee that there's gonna be waves.
Good Point Break.
And it's beautiful and
I love it. That's a new one.
Maybe I'll bring my kids, but make sure a babysitter was there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as you don't
bring like a
get in the way
grandparent.
of
Like,
me
hey,
surfing.
can you come?
But you can always go, enjoy it, and then take them back someday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You're sort of scoping it out for them.
With kids, I'll say Ireland. We've been talking a lot about that.
Oh.
My wife and I have been, and we try and bring our kids to like cool places, not just like
Yeah.
the traditional, kid places.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool to bring them internationally, and we've done it a couple times, and they want to go to Ireland. And I feel like it's an easy trip to do with kids.
Yeah.
We took my kids to London about a year and a half ago. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And they were great.
I'll give you a quick story. I know you got to go.
know.
My wife works for Sony PlayStation, so she
Really?
It's so we can get into it. But they for a long time she would go to Japan like a lot.
Yeah.
And then London and France and all. So she's traveling a lot. So when we first had our daughter, who's 7.5 now, pre-COVID and everything, we used to just bring her with us. So like she's been like before she was like a year and a half, she had like
She's got a better passport than me because I don't even have
and
one.
then
So
we're
good
like,
for her.
These are the parents we're gonna bring our kids everywhere. And then COVID happened. We had our second kid, and he hasn't been out of the country, so we're working on that. Yeah, he's fine. But yeah, like that's where I would bring my kids if I had to answer it.
That's wonderful.
With the
I
caveat
love that.
of the kids.
All right. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Yeah, we have not broken the streak
Yeah, I
yet.
know. We're still on the
Excellent.
I
streak.
tried to like when my we were up. My brother's got a Google Pixel. I guess that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'll try the Google Pixel, and it just didn't even.
I love
I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
I want all my stuff to talk to itself.
But I'm not even like a Mac guy.
Oh, see, I am.
Yeah,
I'm
so
a Mac girl,
it doesn't make sense, but
Yeah.
I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
I don't
But it's
care.
better, and you only get blue texts, no green texts. That's how we judge.
Podcast or playlist?
Podcasts in the car, playlist at home.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Go-to hype song?
Probably something like 90s hip hop.
Any particular favorites?
I would say, how about Wu-Tang Triumph?
Ooh.
A real ballad.
Wow.
That one will get you hyped for about 8 minutes. It's a long song.
One of our clients, her son is a massive Wu-Tang fan. And I was like, how do you even know them? Like, you are so young.
Wu-Tang's for the children.
He went to their show. Like, I'm like,
I think
dude.
they played their, like in Philly recently on their like final tour. Or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he
Or
was there.
Comeback tour. I forget what
And
it
I'm
is.
like, really? Like, that did not compute happened in my brain. So,
You have to
like
tell me who that
that.
is later. I'm not even sure who that is, to be honest.
oh, I'll tell you.
Okay.
But if I'm working, I'll do like Mos Def Radio or Wu-Tang
Yeah.
Radio or
Yeah.
Action Bronson Radio, something with like that New York kind of
Vibe to it?
Yeah.
I love that.
Nice.
Hidden talent.
Oh God.
I mean, we talked about one of them.
I was going to say, before this,
What's
I would have
that?
never known that you were a surfer.
Surfing.
Oh, surfing. I wouldn't
Yeah, I
say
wouldn't
I'm so
know.
talented at that. I like it.
Or fun fact.
Or fun fact.
Oh, this will be easier. I think I mentioned it when I bought that van.
Yeah.
In Northern California, or it was Southern California when I bought it. But when we moved back home, I took like a month, 5 weeks, and just did the whole country by myself.
That's awesome.
Like my wife did the first like 9 days, but she has a real job, so she had to go back and
She had
actually
to-
work.
she had to
could
work.
only take off like a
Yeah.
week.
Where did she leave the tour?
Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So
we
you
only
got
made
out
it
to Seattle.
And then
Okay.
she was like, I got to go.
Yeah.
She flew home and you drove.
She flew home, and then for 4 weeks I didn't see her. She was working.
Wow.
I was just having fun.
Northern or southern route? Or both?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I started in San Francisco and went all the way up through like Oregon and Seattle and Orca Island up in like off the coast of Washington, and then dropped her off in Seattle, came back down like essentially through the Rockies, back down to like New Mexico. And back then I did a lot more rock climbing, so like a lot of it was driven around where I could climb. So then in New Mexico, Colorado, across Texas.
Route 66?
I
Or
think that's more central. And that
okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
It wasn't like I just kind of like, where do I know people and where's rock climbing at?
Where can I stay? Yeah.
Yeah, and the staying part was cool because and I haven't done it in a while, but back then I know there you can go on the freecampsites.net.
Yep.
It was like Bureau of Land
Yep.
Management. So like,
And you had the van
and you
with
had
the bed.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
all I needed. So went through Texas, Fort Worth, and Dallas, where my buddy lived. Stayed in Alabama randomly, just because that's where I was when I needed to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then my brother lives in Virginia. Georgia. My buddy lives in Atlanta. Wow. And then up the coast, Jersey, PA, and yeah.
Dang,
So fun
that's
fact,
pretty
I lived
cool.
in a van for 5 weeks.
You did it when we can do those things.
Yeah.
I know.
Not that it should end or stop or whatever, but it's just easier.
We rented an RV with my daughter. Right, my wife was like 6 months pregnant with our second, and it was during COVID, and we were like itching. We're like, we haven't
gotta do
traveled. We got to
something.
get out
Yeah.
of here. Like, we're gonna be stuck with a
Yeah.
infant for a while.
Yeah,
So we
sure.
rented a RV and went up to Maine. So did like the whole northeast coast and went up to Maine, hung out in Acadia.
That's awesome.
And then kind of circled our way back down Cape Cod. And
Two of my favorite vloggers that I found during COVID were Kara and Nate, and they did an entire U.S. tour in their little camper van that they did. And some of the places that they stayed that they found on these like free campsites, I'm like, oh my gosh, they literally woke up at the beach.
Yeah.
Like the van was parked at the beach. I'm like, how cool. would
yeah,
that
Halam, which is in like Santa Barbara area,
Yeah.
Central Coast. Like
Yeah.
literally, I have pictures of just backed up on the
And
sand.
just-
Yeah, it was one of my favorite.
That would
places.
be my dream to wake up and
There's
just
so many cool
look at
places
the
in
beach.
America. You can go to Europe and everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, it's great, it's expensive. You could see some of the coolest places in the world
But there's
in
so
our
much here.
country.
Yeah.
So
All right. Last rapid fire. One word to describe yourself.
I'd like to say fun.
You sound
I get
so
that.
fun. Like I could see that. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I try to be fun. Like, I try to, like, I have young kids. Like, I try to be silly. I
Yeah.
try to be fun. Like, I don't know, just try to have fun. you
I'd
know?
say
Life's too
goofball.
short.
Like you give goofball vibes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Someone could take offense to that. I do not.
Really?
Goofy, goofball, silly goose.
I'm a silly goose. So
Yeah,
I
I like
take offense
being
to it.
silly like that. Like,
Yeah.
this is real quick. I know you guys gotta go.
No, I love it.
We're going down into Doylestown on, I think it was to go to the bike races or something. It was Friday afternoon, and the kids are in the back, and like the windows are open. It's a beautiful day. We're playing music, and like I just saw like a group of like middle-aged ladies walking down the street, and I like windows down. I'm like, hey ladies, have a great Friday night. Like just being goofy, and my kids are like, Dad, no.
Stop,
But
stop.
like it's
Yeah.
still like it happened 3 weeks ago. They're like, Dad, remember that time you did that? Like it just It's just.
But you probably made those ladies' night.
They probably either that or they thought it was crazy. But
Either way,
yeah,
that's fine.
as long as you're nice about it.
You had a good time. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, I try to have fun.
I love it.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of work-life balance.
You do. Yep. Absolutely. We talk about that all the time. Like, that's one of the pillars of our team.
Got to. Yeah.
You have
There's
to.
always work to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to
You can
have
always
some family
hit
time.
pause.
You have to enjoy the journey.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. All right. Before we wrap this up, if you could give your clients one piece of advice and one piece of advice only, what would you say to them?
Take the first step.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it, but
Yeah.
Don't be scared to take the first step, because worst case scenario, you just back off and say it wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
But maybe it is the right time, and then now you got to jump on it. So
I love it.
yeah, don't be afraid.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining
You're
us
welcome.
today.
Thanks for having me. I
appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Rory.
This is my second
Awesome.
time being a guest on a podcast. And
Yeah?
you guys have to do the heavy lifting. I appreciate you
No problem.
making it easy on me.
I'm glad.
Cool.
That's what we like. It's just, I said it before we even sat down. It's like two girls having drinks. Like, let's just have a chat.
I know, that's why.
Yeah.
That's
It's the
why
way to do
our
it.
podcast is what it is. It's
Yeah.
the happy hour. It's supposed to be like that. So just it's a conversation. Have fun.
100%. I'll link the episode that you did with Matt. That way you guys
perfect.
can
Yeah.
check out their podcast as
Thank
well.
you.
And all of your contact information will be down below.
Cool. Yeah, we'll share it. We'll do whatever.
Awesome.
Perfect.
I'm really good at social media. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Love it.
We've seen it.
All right.
And thanks to all of you for watching our current episode of The Keychain. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.